from SVGCuts here, and I've got some really fun nautical projects this week. And a lot of you guys have been requesting nautical projects, so I had a lot of fun coming up with this, especially because of the really pretty paper that I was able to use by Graphic 45, which I'll show you here in just a minute. So of course we have our lighthouse, which is nice and large, and some of you were saying you were surprised how tall it was in person when you actually made it. So we have two friends on Facebook who already made this before this video was even posted. Our friend Shell and our friend Steven did an awesome job making theirs without the video, but of course this will help you put yours together so you can see exactly how it goes together. So as you can see, the bottom is a little gift box, so you can make it as a gift or container, and then this part lifts off and perfectly fits a electronic battery powered tea light candle. So obviously you would never put a real candle in there. Don't even need to say that, but so it's nice and cute and, you know, illuminatable, if that's a word, and it goes with a cute little house on the side. So I was looking at a lot of pictures of real lighthouses when I was putting this together, and I thought it looked really cute when there's a nice little house next to the lighthouse for the keeper of the lighthouse to live inside of. So if you make both of them together, I think they look adorable together. But of course you could make this, you know, as a standalone project, or this as a standalone project. And you could give this any kind of theme that you want for any kind of season or holiday. And the cool part is how it fits together. The roof just perfectly fits right onto the bottom of the box. And this also, you know, you could put a couple of electronic candles inside this too to illuminate it if you wanted to do that. And I can't wait to see what kind of different looks you guys give this little house if you're inspired to make it for, you know, Christmas, Halloween, summertime, someone's birthday, or just really anything. It's going to be super cute. So we also have 3 cards which go with our projects, and they could also be standalone. You could of course mix and match the card bases with something else on the front, so I hope that's nice and useful. You know, so you've got your fish and your compass and your seahorse and some nice plain card bases. So if you wanted to do something different than the sailboat on this, you could do that as well. So it's nice to go with your projects if you're giving the whole set as a gift, you know, a card with the lighthouse to someone. Going to be really cute, or separately is going to be really cute too. So like I was saying, the paper that I used is really pretty. It's by Graphic 45, which is one of my favorite paper companies, because I just love the beautiful way they put together these vintage images and the color schemes that they use. Really, really pretty, and as always it comes with some smaller paper pads and some embellishments which are just gorgeous. So that's really pretty, but of course whatever kind of paper you use is going to look awesome, and I can't wait to see yours when you make it. So I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how these two go together, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start with the lighthouse, and we can work our way from the bottom to the top. So the bottom is obviously this piece here, and it's mostly just made up of these 4 pieces and then the bottom. So your pieces here will each be numbered, and your machine will have cut a number into the side of each of these pieces, which I went ahead and darkened in with a marker just so you could see it in this video. So you want to go ahead and fold each of them so that this part is coming out towards you, and also so that this part is folded like this. So once all your pieces are folded in the right way, you can go ahead and put these bottom panels on. Mine are this nice striped pattern, and then these panels here, which are the same color as the lighthouse, and those are perfect for embossing. If you have really any kind of embossing folder you want to use, it's going to look really nice. I used this one, which is called Notebook by Sizzix, because I like the way that it looks like wood paneling kind of. So that's what I did there. And then on pieces 2 and 6, you can go ahead and glue your vellum behind the window, as well as your little window frame right on top of the window. And then you can go ahead and lay your pieces out 1 through 8. And then we just basically want to start gluing them together in order. So to do that, we are just going to put a nice thin, even layer of glue on each tab. And you want to make sure your glue goes all the way out to the corners of those little tabs so that your pieces get a nice hold and everything fits together the right way. My glue is a little clogged up here, so it took a little bit longer to get that glue on there. So as you can see, I'm just taking piece number number 2 and gluing it right to piece number 1. And I'm starting with one tab at a time. And once the first tab dries a little bit, moving on to the next one, and then the next one. And I'm carefully lining up those edges as best I can so that everything fits together really nicely. So there's the final tab, and I'm just going to repeat the same thing. I'm just going to put glue on all these tabs and then grab the next piece and work my way up from the bottom to the top, one tab at a time. So go ahead and do that with all 8 pieces. So I've got all 8 of my pieces together, and now I'm just closing up this final seam here, which is the same process that I did before, just one tab at a time, and just carefully lining up those tabs with the piece, the side next to it. Same thing that we did all the way around. And I'm rushing a little bit, so mine is not as perfectly lined up as the first one I did, but you get the idea. So there's all 8 pieces together, and now we can just flip it over and put glue on all 8 of these tabs, going all the way out to the corners, and then just take your bottom piece and put that in place and adjust it as necessary so that it lines up nicely. Then you can go ahead, and if you want to add a cute rope like I did, I just tied that around there in a knot. Now for the middle part of our lighthouse, I've got the main pieces laid out here, and again there are 8 sides, and each piece is numbered on the bottom tab here with a number which your machine will have cut out, and I went ahead and darkened those in with a marker just for this video so that you could see them. So you want to make sure that each piece is folded like this on the side and the top, but then you want to make sure that the top is folded like this. So then also behind piece number 6 and piece number 2, you can go ahead and glue your 2 pieces of vellum that fit there. Now we've also got our stripes, which we want to glue on at this time, and as you can see, the stripes go around the lighthouse, and there's also a slight border around each little stripe too, so just take note of that so that when you're gluing them on, we're going to glue those just like that. So the easiest way to put the stripes on is, you can see that there are 2 pieces that look like this, and those go on pieces number 6 and number 2, and then there are also 2 similar pieces but without the cutout here, and those go on pieces number 4 and number 8. So as you can see, they're alternating, every other one has one of those on it. So then next we've got 4 large pieces that look like this, and we want to put those on the lighthouse pieces between each of the ones that we've already added panels to. So those are pieces 3, 5, 7, and then 1. And I'm just placing these on here right now just to be able to see where they go. And then we've got 4 pieces that look like this, and those are going to go on pieces 2, 4, 6, and 8, like so. So once you can see where they all go and you've kind of got yours laid out, you can go ahead and glue those on. And again, you want to make sure that there is just a slight border around your stripe on each of those. So down in the bottom corner, there's a little bit of a border. So go ahead and glue your stripes on, and then we will start to put our lighthouse bottom together. So once your stripes are on, you also want to put your 2 little window frames right on top of pieces number 2 and number 6. So as you can see on my finished one, there's my window frame and there's my other window frame. So once you've got your stripes and your window frames on your pieces, we can go ahead and start to glue them together. I'm just going to save myself some time and not really glue my stripes and my windows on, but yours will already be glued on. So I'm going to start by taking piece number 1 and putting a nice thin even layer of glue all the way out to the corners on each of these side tabs. And then I'm going to take the next piece and glue that long tab into place, lining it up nicely with the next one, and then working my way up to the next tab, and then to that final third tab. And then I'm just going to repeat that same process all the way around with all 8 pieces. So as you can see, I've got all 8 of my pieces together, and again, yours will have the stripes and the window frames on it. Mine is naked because I'm saving myself a little time here. And just the same thing that I did before is what I'm doing now with the tabs, and all 8 sides are together. So now all that's left to do, well, almost all that's left to do, is go ahead and put glue on all 8 of these tabs, which I will actually do along with you. And you want to make sure that your glue goes all the way out to the corners so that it gets a nice hole and it doesn't start coming apart. And then you just want to place this piece right on top, kind of lining up each little corner all the way around. And once it starts to take hold, I'm going to flip it over on top of my table here, and I'm pushing down from the inside with my finger, kind of fingernail, just sort of making sure that it's nice and flat. So the next thing we can do is take our railing, and you want to go ahead and bend it like this so that it's bent on either side of each little post, as well as underneath each little post. And then we can go ahead and put some glue on this tab and put that in place. And then we want to glue this onto the top. And you want it to be sort of echoing the shape of the existing top here. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and put glue on each of these tabs, going all the way out to these corners especially. And then I will just carefully center that and place it right on the top. If you need to adjust it a little bit, you can. And we just want each of those tabs to be flat and to be taking hold. So the next thing we can do is take our circle and just cover the back of that with a nice even layer of glue and glue that right on top to finish it off. So now let's take a look at the lantern. So for our lantern, it's made up again of 8 sides, and I've got all 8 of my pieces laid out here, and they're not numbered because each one is identical. And you want to go ahead and glue your vellum behind each piece, and then also your little panel up here. And first it might be easier to go ahead and fold each of these score lines so that you can really see where you're gluing this. And you want to make sure that its folding is like this on each piece too. So we've also got the very top of the lantern, which is this tiny little part up here, and then we've got the bottom. But we're going to start by gluing all 8 of these pieces together side to side. And as you can see, this first side tab here is shaped a little funny, and that's so that it doesn't show through the window on the next piece, obviously. So I'm just going to cover all 3 of these tabs here with a nice thin even layer of glue, and I will grab the next piece and carefully line it up on the first tab, and then the second tab, and then the third tab. And you want to go ahead and do that with all 8 pieces. So now I've got all 8 of my sides together, and I'm just closing up this final seam here, which is just the same thing I was doing before with all the other seams. Kind of just one tab at a time here. And the next thing we want to do is take our little piece and get that ready to put on top of our lantern. So the little top piece looks like this, and we're just going to be using a few little dots of glue on each tab. So I've got some glue on this triangular shaped tab up here, and then I'm just going to work my way around with a little dot of glue on each little triangular shaped tab. And I'm just carefully bending that together. Now I don't normally make anything that's this small. This is probably one of the smallest little pieces of maybe any project, but it's still doable with just a little dot of glue on each one and just carefully bending it right into place. And luckily it's just about big enough for a fingertip so that it's easy to squeeze it from both sides. So I'm just working my way around and I'm almost done here. And there's just one more little triangular shaped tab, which I will just get a little dot of glue on. Actually got way too much glue on there, but you get the idea. And that's just going to go right on top of our lantern. So in order to do that, I want to put a nice line of glue on each of these pieces. Kind of concentrating the glue maybe up here at the top of the tab a little more than at the bottom. But as long as you get some glue on each one, you're going to be all set. And then you just want to work that onto the top and make sure that all those tabs are on the inside. And then I'm just holding it in place with one hand while I touch those tabs from the inside to make sure that they're making contact with my lantern top. So you just want to carefully take your time and make sure that those tabs are getting glued into place. It might take a few extra seconds, and then we can flip over our lantern and cover all 8 of these tabs with glue, and then put the bottom of the lantern into place, as you can see with my finished lantern. So next, for our lighthouse keeper's quarters, I've got the roof pulled off of the house here, and as you can see, it's obviously just 4 sides and a bottom and a base and a little step. So I went ahead and glued the panels on the front of my house, on both of these, and then also on the back side I went ahead and glued my pieces of vellum where they go. So you do want to go ahead and get those into place, and then we can glue the sides of our house together. So to do that, I'm just going to grab either one of these 2 similar pieces, put some glue on that side tab, and glue one right to the other. So then next I will put some glue on the other side tab here and line that up nicely and glue that into place. So as you can see, I had my panels glued on as well as my window frames and my vellum on the inside. Then I glued my 4 sides together, and now I just want to put glue on all 4 of these tabs, and I want to make sure that my glue goes all the way out to the corners and get a nice thin even layer of glue on all 4 of these tabs. And then I want to take the larger of these 2 similar rectangles here and glue those into place. Glue this larger one into place. And it's a little tricky because the house is not easy to set down on the tabletop since it's pointy on 2 sides, But once it starts to take hold in the proper place a little bit, you can flip it over so that its bottom is sitting on the table, and then you can press down from the inside on those 4 tabs. So next we just want to cover this smaller rectangle with some glue and place that in the bottom to cover up those tabs. So next, as you can see, this one, my finished one, has this nice base on it. So to put together the base, we have some pieces here which are numbered, and your machine will have cut these numbers into your pieces, and so did mine, but I went ahead and darkened them in with a marker so you could see them. And then we've got 2 identical pieces like this. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that each piece is folded like this, and then we want to take piece number 1 and put some glue on this side tab and glue that into place on piece number 2. So I'm gluing piece number 1 to piece number 2. And you want to make sure that it's lined up really nicely so that everything fits together well. And then I'm going to take piece number 3 and glue that to piece number 2. And then close it up by putting some glue on this final side tab. And my other piece just came undone, which I will fix here in just a second. This came unglued, so I'm just re-gluing it here. And you can start to see the base taking shape a little bit. So as you can see, the front of the base kind of protrudes a little bit, which means that we want to shape it that way to get it ready to finish gluing it together. So you want to go ahead and shape it so that this front is protruding a little bit in the center, and then we can go ahead and put some glue on this long back tab going all the way out to the corners, and grab either one of these 2 pieces and glue that into place. Then we're going to put glue on the rest of these tabs and fold this over to lay it flat. So I went ahead and folded this over with glue, like I said, and I'm flipping it over and pushing down from the inside so that those tabs are nice and glued down. And as you could probably guess, now we're just going to cover all of these tabs with glue, going all the way out to the corners, and then place this second piece right onto it, making sure that you line it up nicely. So that forms the base, and now let's take a look at the little stair. So next, to form our little stair, it's just this one piece here, and I want to just put some glue on this tab and then fold it around and line it up carefully. And once the glue starts to take hold, you can even flatten it out so that you can give it a good squeeze. And then put a little bit of glue on all 3 of these triangle tabs and fold that over. And then go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And once that little stair is together, we can go ahead and cover the whole bottom of our house with glue, going all the way out to the corners, and then just carefully center that right onto your base so that there's a nice even border around the side, so it's, you know, centered. And then you just want to put some glue on 2 sides of your stair and glue that into place right onto the front. So finally, for the roof of our little house, you can see that it's actually pretty simple. It's really just these 4 pieces here, and pieces number 1 and 3 are the same, and pieces number 2 and 4 are also the same. So you want to go ahead and glue your panels on and when you kind of hold up your panels to each piece, you can tell what goes where. And these two are the same, these panels are the same, and these panels are the same. These are just mirror images of each other. And then these are the same and these are the same, which are just mirror images of each other as well. So go ahead and glue your panels into place, and then we can start to put together our roof. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on just this tab on piece number 1 here, and give it a little squeeze and a chance to dry. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other 3 pieces. Just glue this tab up here into place. And again on piece number 3, same thing, just this upper tab. And one other thing to note is when you're folding each of your score lines on each piece, you do want to make sure that this side tab here with the number on it, you want that to be folding towards you as well as the one underneath it. So that goes for all 4 pieces. You want this folded towards you as well as the one underneath it. So finally, I will just put some glue on this tab on piece number 4 and glue that into place. And now we can start to put these together. So I've got piece number 1 here, which goes, piece number 2 goes onto piece number 1. So to glue them together, I'm going to put glue all over this side tab that's labeled 1, as well as this tab underneath it. And then we can go ahead and glue piece number 2 on, 1 tab at a time here. I'm just working on this long tab, and once that's secure, I will put the smaller tab into place. And then I will just work my way around doing the same thing with all 4 pieces. So piece number 2 is in my hand here, and I'm going to grab piece number 3 and glue that into place. Doing my best to line it up as perfectly as possible, and giving this long tab a second to dry, and then getting that final piece into place. So go ahead and glue piece number 4 onto piece number 3 with the same procedure here. And again, I'm just getting this long tab into place first, and then finishing off that smaller tab. And I'm rushing a little bit, so mine is not as perfectly lined up as yours probably will be. And then to finish off the roof, I just want to, again, do the same thing. Just put glue on this long tab, as well as the one underneath it, and then carefully get that tab underneath, which I probably could have done. Well, that wasn't bad, actually. It's fine. And again, just getting this long tab into place, and then the final little tab. So there's your roof, which fits perfectly onto your house. So there you have it, really pretty, really fun nautical projects. And when I think nautical, I think summer, but of course there's lighthouses all year round. So I think you can have fun with this all year. And I can't wait to see the different spins that you put on your project. So if you do make one, you'll have to share a picture on our Facebook wall so we can see, and so the rest of our crafty friends can see too. Or post it on your blog and share it from there on Instagram or Pinterest or really anywhere. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.
Learn more by visiting www.svgcuts.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and watch all of our crafty videos on YouTube. It's a world of crafty content with you in the middle. SVGCuts.com, inspiring you to live creatively and beautifully.